Yeah. Well, I think it all has to do with Wisconsin, actually. My family owned a piece of property right on the edge of Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. For some reason, that was like heaven to me, and it was like farmland. So it wasn't really wild, but it wasn't tame either. It was, for a child, it was quite wild, and it was a big piece of land, and everything started there, I think, that I loved this piece of land so much, and I had such good times there, and all the paintings for me start with landscape. The landscape is behind everything. It's the background to everything. And perhaps this is because I have such an emotional relationship to the landscapes. I mean, I'm very attached to the Wisconsin countryside, but it's also because landscape can be so abstract, so freeform. The clouds are floating, the trees are moving, the fields and forests can be any shape. And so because it's so abstract, it speaks to some deep part of me. Because the landscape is there, then I can start dealing with other things that interest me about the landscape, specifically the human relationship to landscape and the human relationship to other animals. So I painted quite realistically for 8 or 10 years, and then at that point everything got turned up over and everything was re-examined, and I had to decide why I was doing what I was doing, and I had the skills, I had to use them, and so everything just got more and more detailed and refined, and I felt as if I had painted myself into a corner, sort of. I didn't have enough room to move around, and there wasn't any fluidity, or there wasn't room to maneuver, if you know what I mean. Also, that whole time, I was working as a painting conservator. The work was quite demanding. You know, it required a lot of patience. It was fussy in a lot of the same ways that very realistic painting is fussy. And I think that was part of it too, that there was just too much of that in my life, and I needed something that allowed me to move my arm, you know, to make a broad gesture and to be more emotionally expressive. And that's when I started sketching in crayon and watercolor, because it was, I could make effects so fast. They just came out, you know, out of me really fast, and I could put them down, and I developed my relationship to line and color. And then at some point I started translating them into oil paintings, and then I was off. I mean, that's where it all began. It's pretty simple, technically simple. I'm always interested in the painting more as a window or something where light is coming out of it, actually, from behind. You're looking in and the light is coming out. For that same reason, I always paint on a white ground. It keeps you on the surface, you know what I'm saying? In my paintings, I'm always working to get a very shallow but very palpable space that is played off against the essential flatness of the images, which they are. I mean, they're flat. Yeah.